first heard from the master storyteller, Laura Sims. Once upon a time, long ago, in China, there was a married couple. They lived in a small hut on a dry, rocky piece of land. They were very poor, but they loved each other well. Every day they would go out to the field and dig for potatoes. If they were having a normal day, they would find 2 potatoes, one for the husband, one for the wife, and that is what they had to eat all day. If they were very lucky, they found 4 potatoes, one for the wife, one for the husband, 2 to sell in the market. Well, one day they were digging when all of a sudden they found a wooden box. They unearthed it, opened the lid. It was empty. But if you are poor, everything has a use. So they cleaned the outside and then took it inside their little house. And the woman began cleaning the inside. As she was reaching down to clean the bottom, a ribbon from her hair fell into the box. It was a red ribbon. Actually, it wasn't red, it was scarlet. And if you touched it, it felt like velvet. And she reached down to get it because it was her favorite ribbon. In fact, it was the only ribbon she owned. But as she reached down, all of a sudden, just like that, the box filled up with red ribbons. She took all the red ribbons out of the box, and the box filled up with red ribbons again. She took all of the red ribbons out of the box and set them aside, and the box filled up with red ribbons again. Well, she and her husband realized that this was magic. And only one of them needed to dig for potatoes. The other would go to the market to sell the red ribbons. And so they did. Every day they took the ribbons to market, and every day they brought back money. Now the husband and wife knew that they were not only in love, but they were rich in love, with a little money on the side. So they kept taking the ribbons out of the box until one day the woman came back and she had a gold coin in her hand from selling all the ribbons that day. She forgot to put the gold coin down, and she reached in to get more red ribbons when she dropped the gold coin in the box. And just like that, all the red ribbons disappeared, and the box filled up with gold coins. She took all the gold coins out of the box, and it filled up with gold coins again. She took all those gold coins out of the box, set them aside, and it filled up with gold coins again. Well, she and her husband no longer had to dig for potatoes. They really were rich in money as well as in love, and they bought a big mansion and hired servants to take care of them. They waited on them hand and foot, except they did not allow the servants to take the gold coins out of the box. No, that was their job. But after a few days, they began to get lazy and greedy because they didn't want to take the gold coins out of the box, but they didn't want anyone else to do it either. It was too dangerous to allow anyone else near the money. And they thought, and then they remembered there was an old grandfather living in the mountains, and he was family. He could come and take the gold coins out of the box, and they could relax. So they invited the old grandfather to come and visit. Now, he was retired and didn't really want to work, but as they said, he was family. And when he was shown into the room with the box full of gold coins, he immediately began pulling the gold coins out of the box and setting them aside. And he pulled gold coins out of the box all day long. And after a while, he would get tired and lean against the box and kind of rest his head. And if he got caught, though, the wife or the husband would beat him and beat him and beat him and beat him until he took more gold coins out of the box. He kept taking those gold coins out of the box until one day he was reaching down and he was so old. He died and he fell into the box. Well, when they came to see how much money he had pulled out of the box, all they found was the dead grandfather. So they took the dead grandfather out of the box to bury him, and when they came back, there was another dead grandfather in the box. And they took the dead grandfather out of the box, and and buried him, and there was another dead grandfather in the box. Well, you may not know this, but it costs money to bury someone. And so when the last gold coin was spent and the last dead grandfather was buried, they had to sell their house. They had to let the servants go. The wooden box disappeared. And all the man and the woman had left was what they started out with: potatoes. The end.